remember what I was saying about how this game goes through so many different playstyles and just can't decide on one of them? Yeah, you're about to learn exactly what I'm talking about. So, as we go through this level, let's just keep a running tally of how many different shifts we go through in the video game's stylistic consistency, or rather, the lack thereof. So here we have some underwater section. Now, that isn't, you know, so different. You know, it's pretty much still keeping on the action platformer side of things, but for the sake of just comedy, I guess, we'll say that it's an underwater level. It isn't by most, you know, degrees of consideration or sanity, but it's got a little bit. So for the time being, we'll consider this an underwater level. The underwater controls are a little frustrating. Not awful, not as awful as they could have been, but a little frustrating. Electricity, not my fondest friend. This is not what I consider a pipe dream. I thought we'd already done the whole collapsing cave charade before. Alright, so now we have a running away sequence, for lack of a better word, so we'll call this 2. Or rather, we will call it 2 when I don't die. Number 2. Okay, so here we are running away from the impending wall of lava. I'm not exactly sure why someone decided to start channeling lava through this, you know, metal pipe. I don't even know what it could be serving. What purpose could this giant lava vent possibly be serving? That's something you really need to consider pretty often when you're playing a video game, especially one where they appear to be doing things just for the sake of, hey, this is cool! Like what is currently going on. I cannot see a necessary reason for an advancing wall of death. Especially since it just leads to another lava cave. But maybe that's just me. So here we have number 3. That's not the boss's name. I don't know if the boss even has a name, but whatever, we'll call him number 3, because this indicates the third play style in this section of the Let's Play. He's a big giant crab boss monster, the first boss of the game. And keep in mind, this boss is coming when we still have had fairly little introduction to the plot and the characters and the world that we've been put into and the context of the situation. And really, we don't know anything about this game at this point, except for the fact that it's in space. Don't you just love the generic space setting? You also have to love the generic, industrial lava level. See, the whole, like, you know, levels that were all elemental based, you could get away with those maybe, like, 10, 15 years ago. You know, back when those, like, rare platformers, and I don't mean rare as in hard to find platformers, I mean platformers developed by the company Rare. Back when those games were coming out, you know, it was okay to just focus on elemental style levels because, I mean, they were, I guess, fairly easy to pull off and they didn't require much creativity, but they were still new enough that you didn't have to worry about them being derivative or anything. But at this point, Although I guess I can't be too harsh. This game did come out 10 years ago. So maybe this was just at the height, and maybe this game was even being fairly creative for its time. Who knows? But I'm ranting, and I don't want to miss the 4th play style in this part of the Let's Play. Now it's going to be an on-rails shooter. Ho ho ho. Yeah. I'd say I bet you didn't see that one coming, but I mean, with this game, everything that you don't expect to see coming, you will probably see coming a mile away. What I like to imagine at this point in the game is that the giant evil empire is really underfunded. So they want to destroy you, but they just don't have the necessary tools or finances to do so. So what they do is they just start throwing their giant ceiling fans at you and hoping that those will do the trick. And I mean, the sheer amount of ceiling fans that they throw at you almost does the trick. Yes. So it's not a terrible plan they have. It's just going to leave them rather warm. Yeah. Working conditions are going to go down, but then again, this is an evil empire, so I don't think that working conditions were ever their largest concern. You gotta love that scenery, though. Or maybe not. You don't have to love the scenery. It's okay. It's decent. Although I guess for 2002 this was kind of pretty. Good use of color. And, you know, I've also got to give some points to the frame rate. There are a lot of explosions that occur in this game. And it manages to handle them. Are you tired of this yet? Because I am. And I was when I played it. It's a pretty tiring point. Although tiring is a good way to describe this game. If there's anything an action platformer shouldn't be, it's tiring. I have a cold. Or actually, I don't think it's a cold. I think it's just my allergies. It's kind of unfortunate. Maybe I should drink some orange juice. Of course, is the orange juice thing, does that only help before, you know, you get a cold or get allergies? Or does, I guess it wouldn't even help with allergies. And I don't think I have a cold, so who knows. I went to prom last weekend. And everybody's been getting sick afterwards. And I don't mean STD sick, though that would be pretty funny. I mean, like, actually ill sick. Like, sick to the stomach, congestion, blah blah blah. That kind of thing. Maybe I'm getting that. Hope I'm not getting that. That would kind of suck. Maybe I should talk about the whole objectives thing. If you go to your pause menu, you can see your objectives in this game. And most of the time it does a pretty good job of indicating what exactly are the objectives that you absolutely have to complete and which of the objectives are secondary. But also, sometimes it just kind of really screws you over, because it'll just put question marks for what the secondary objectives are. Ooh, here we have another boss. Sort of. It's the giant, mass-producing fan boss, which is probably the worst boss title. I mean, I know that's probably not his actual title, but I mean, imagine if that was really what this boss was called by the developers. What if they were sitting in their, like, room, their big old meeting room, boardroom, yeah, it's called a boardroom. What if they were just sitting there, thinking, alright, we've got to design a level today. We've got the intense lava pipe level that we want to do. We've got the giant industrial lava crab monster. But then some guy was like, nah, I don't feel like doing those today. Okay, Tim, what do you want to do today? I really want to develop the giant mass-producing fan boss. Jim, we didn't even approve that boss. We think it's lame. Yeah, but I've just got this really good feeling. I've just got this good feeling like this is gonna be the new thing. Like, I think we're gonna set the norm for mass-producing fan bosses. And then history was made, because now we have so many mass-producing fan bosses in the video game canon. You can thank Traveler's Tales for that one, ladies and gentlemen. As for me, I'll see you next time.